Hello there and welcome to a very different video today, as this MOC is neither a starship or a diorama. Today we'll be taking a look at my custom modular MOC of the Friends Cafe, the Central Perk for those of you that have watched the show, using only the pieces from the set. Now before we start, I would like to get out of the way, this white base plate is not from the set. However, if you are building this yourself, feel free to use your own plates or maybe a base plate to support the MOC. And I'm sure you can scramble together enough plates from this set to build your own plate for the MOC to stand on. But I chose to go with a 16 by 16 as it's nice and flush and fits all the pieces, and as I'll be looking at making this into a tower or a flat rather than standing alone, I thought it best to have the most structurally sound bottom that I could find, and hence went with this 16 by 16 plate. Taking a look at it, it does resemble the Friends Cafe. It's not exactly accurate, as I confine myself to a 16 by 16 plate with enough give to leave this overhang at the front for the little overhang that hangs outside of the cafe, and decided to extend it the whole way along as you get enough pieces. And as you can see, if I take this piece off, it is all supported by a plate. I think it's a 2 by 6 plate. I don't think it goes all the way across, and it supports both sides of this striped cover. And as you could see, underneath we have the door, followed by 2 windows either side. You can see a little umbrella handle just through that window, as I have decided to keep some sort of coat rack on the inside, but we'll get to that later. And you've got the window, Central Perk, facing outwards. The set does have the window facing inwards, but I decided to have it facing outwards so you could see it around the city, as this is the start to my Lego city. Now, it's not going to be a huge grand Lego city. I am confined to not that much space. However, I think it'll be decently sized for all the Lego I have at the minute, and perhaps in the future, if I have enough space and enough Lego bricks, I will decide to expand this. But for now, this is the Lego city. And if you take a look, I have tried to have the exterior walls as good looking as possible. You can see Monica just through that window there, and you could probably even see Ross at the right angle. But this is going to be facing outside. This is going to be at the front left of my Lego city, so I had to have this wall as decorative as possible. And as you can tell, if you turn around, there isn't too pretty of a back wall. I've tried to add a brick just to make it look somewhat decent, but it's a very ugly wall. It's going to be hidden by the wall of the unit that I'm building this in, and likewise it's not too bad this side. However, this isn't the best looking, and again I'll probably build a building or some sort of extension out this way to hide this little bit at the bottom. But the 2 walls that will be on show don't look too bad, and especially confined to the pieces that come in this set, I don't think I did too bad a job. Now, of course we haven't taken a look at the inside. You've got to be careful, that front bit's a bit fragile there. But if you can see, just at the back we have Gunther and we have the couch, and I've tried to keep this as accurate to at least the Lego model, if not the actual Central Perk. And you can see you've got the till in the back, a little coffee machine much smaller than the Lego one provided, and where you've got the menu at the back, you can see either side I've got the little poster of Joey, and also Live Tonight, Phoebe Buffet, both posters that came in the official set, and I just had to include them in my MOC. You've got some spare mugs hanging up just on the side in case anyone else decides to visit, and I've used most of the characters inside. You may be wondering where Joey and Chandler are, however you'll see them later. If I spin this round, you can actually see the umbrella stand and the hat that once again was on the official Lego model. I've decided to include them, as well as this service arrow showing people where they can order their coffees, and the picture hanging just below it on the wall. I've kept the bench, we've got the table, of course we've got the couch over here that I've made a bit smaller than the Lego model that Ross is sitting on just at the back, reading the newspaper to himself. And of course I had to include the iconic orange sofa. Again, I've made it a bit smaller. You can see I've had to use a red 1x6 just at the back of the couch, where they don't include enough orange pieces to customize it as you'd like. Little reserved label on the table, as well as a cup of coffee. And overall I think this turned out really well. Again, this side is going to be hidden, so that isn't a problem for me. And even if you were displaying it, you'll most likely have it either facing forward or to the side, one way or another. And these three walls are looking pretty good, especially for display. Now, I did say that I'm planning on extending it. I'm hoping to extend it upwards and have both the lad's flat on top and Monica's flat above that. And perhaps I'll have some staircase to the side so they can get up to the flats. And then if we have any more spare pieces from the three sets, I'll be looking to extend it one floor higher and perhaps have a flat from either another show or another scene from Friends. And I do think they'll look really cool all together, especially once my city is more complete and I have a few other buildings next to this. And speaking of other buildings, of course, I need to raise this and put this on some sort of base plate just for my preference. I suppose you don't need to put them on base plates, but in my city, I would like to be able to connect them up a bit more than just having a few plates around, especially if I'm unable to use any more 16 by 16 plates in building my other modulars. So I've got this 16 by 16 base plate in this green color. Now this is an official Lego base plate, as you can see, with the Lego logos on the studs, and that goes for all these white bricks as well. The reason I've chosen this layout is it just provides much more support in the corners and the middle this way, and it saves using all the bricks to brick up this entire 16 by 16 plate. Obviously I've gone with the corners to support the edges of the MOCs and put a brick in between each just so it doesn't bow in the middle. I think 4 bricks is enough, and I've done that every single way, so that between any of the bricks in one direction there is only 4 studs, as that will be the strongest, and we'll be able to keep this mock up for long and not cause anything to bend, break, or risk hurting any of these Lego bricks. So what we're going to do is just place this modular on top, make sure all the studs line up. You don't want it overhanging and then have to peel off and start again, and just apply a bit of light pressure around all the sides, just like so. And then to make sure that middle one's down, as you can see, there's a nice empty bit in the middle with the tiles. I'm just going to apply a bit of pressure with a finger or two and make sure that all the studs are firmly in place. And now that that is done, here we have the modular ready to be put in the city. And before we begin, I'd just like to show you the base plate that I've started working on that will go next to it. Now, ignore all these studs and other bits that I'm creating. As you can see, here is the Joey and Chandler minifigure, and using the pieces again from this set, with the exclusion of these plates and tiles, I've constructed these 2 chairs and the table in the middle for them to sit on outside. And of course I had to sit Joey with his pizza and Chandler with his laptop. And if we rotate the Central Perk, these do line up pretty nicely and enable customers to sit outside the Central Perk. A bit different to the show where you're not allowed to take the food and drink outside. However, it makes a nice extension and fits up nice and flush with the tiles on the outside of the coffee shop. And I've even lowered this green pillar here to make sure that also fits flush with the light bluish grey tiles. And I was unsure whether to do that or to heighten it a little bit so the base sticks out. But ultimately I decided on lowering it, making it level with the other tiles, because that meant that on top I could include this 1x1 flat dark green tile, which means that the stud doesn't get stuck in the bottom of the next level and will be pulled out or complicated to remove at all. On top I have included 4 1x2 plates. You can see them around the top, and that is just to connect to the next level when I've built it. It's not the best connection, however, I found that even when you use studs or the 1x4 plates with the 2 studs on top that are very common in the Harry Potter sets, that even they pop up, and I haven't had any problems with this so far. But once I've finished the next layer, hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be able to sit it on top and see just how easy it is to pop on and off. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will be remaking this in studio and getting the instructions ready on Rebrickable for any of you that want to make this yourself. Don't worry, you're not going to have to scroll through the video for referencing. I will try and upload the instructions as soon as I can if they're not already up. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video, where you're going to see another Star Wars diorama that I've made. And it's been in the works for quite a while. I just needed to order some bricks from Bricklink, and they've arrived, and they're all ready to go on the model. So hopefully I'll get that video to you tomorrow. And as always, don't forget to drop a like to support the channel and subscribe so you don't miss out on more Lego videos just like this. And let me know what you think, because it's not my typical Star Wars content, but I am enjoying making more of these Lego videos. Don't worry, I will still be covering Ahsoka when it comes out next week. And also, I've got some interesting news Sunday about the Lego VIP program, so stay tuned for that. May the Force be with you. I forgot to mention in the video, but these are all the spare pieces that you're left over with from the Central Perk. So I will be parting these out and whacking them into my Lego drawers. And whilst I'm sure many of you would like to see a time lapse of that, I'm just going to do it when I have the time. But these will all be going towards other buildings of mine. And if you do decide to build the MOC for yourself, you do get left up with a load of different pieces, many of which are very useful, and a load of big plates that, as I said at the start of the video, you can put towards making your own base for the MOC, especially with these longer bricks that are 16 by 2 studs, which is the length of the MOC itself. But let me know if you decide to pull your Central Perk apart. I know many people like to keep it displayed on the shelf, but I just love creating my own models with this, and it gives me a chance to put these other bricks to use elsewhere. So yeah, hopefully I can get the next level built soon and show it off just like this. Hello there,